अगर तेरी सर्विस काफ़ी कॉम्प्लेक्स है और काफ़ी ज़्यादा हाई टिकट है, देन इट डजंट मेक सेंस टू क्लोज देम इन द फर्स्ट कॉल. Getting one client like her compared to 10 clients who we help from scratch, it's same. So usually there are two parts of our process. One is growth and second is lead generation, right? Now usually when we are working with founders, lead generation doesn't make a lot of sense at the start, at least for the first 3 to 4 months, because we know that okay, we are going to be building the brand and it's just going to be about, we are only focusing on the growth, okay? So I'm going to be kind of taking you through the growth part of things and exactly what are all the things that we take care of and how we approach things, right? So you have a better understanding of that. Now, so like there are a lot of foundational things that we need to sort out when it comes to kind of building a personal brand from ground up. Now the first thing is brand persona, right? Now the idea of building a brand persona is like, okay, what should be the perception of your brand in the viewer's eyes? Okay, like how should people perceive you? Like should people, and this is something that I talked to Rajesh in the last call as well, that okay, like are we positioning the founder in a way that he knows everything about, let's say Ayurveda, he is an intellect, or are we positioning the founder as somebody who has a lot of experience building D2C companies, or are we educating people on the particular product that we have, or like it's like does the founder have that authoritative positioning in terms of how he or she speaks? Are we trying to build a high energy type of a brand, or are we building a friendly, accommodating, feel good type of a brand? Like now this is a very foundational, boring thing but this is very necessary and very important. So we have a conversation with the founder or the team and we understand that okay, this is the persona that we would be building. Okay, so this is like the first very important thing that we basically sort out. Hello there, so it's 8:54 p.m. September 10th and I just completed my hiring call. Now the thing is that we are hiring for new roles at our company Content Flow as we are scaling, and one of the roles that we are hiring for right now is a hybrid kind of a role where the person would be responsible for managing the project as well as social media management. Now the reason for doing that is twofold. Number one, I think social media manager is a very boring kind of a job. You get a video or a post, you post it, you engage with the comments, even though you don't feel like it, it's just very boring, okay? So I was like, okay, how can we introduce some sort of skin in the game of the person in the overall success of the project? So what we did is, we were like, okay, if you're a social media manager at our company, you're also responsible for bringing some sort of results, bringing us new ideas in terms of what we can do for this particular client. That's number one. And also making sure that you are managing that entire project. That means that if you are a social media manager, you are where the entire cycle of our project ends. That means we ideate, we strategize, we script, we record, we edit, and then you post, okay? So we were like, okay, rather than us hiring another manager and having a separate social media manager, how about we make it a hybrid role where a social media manager is responsible for managing that entire project as well. So this person, since is the last moving piece of the entire cycle of the project, always knows how many videos are in the queue, how many videos do we need to prepare beforehand, so we are being consistent for every client that we are working with. So you will like, we'll merge these two roles. So number one, it will solve the issue of boredom of this particular role, which I truly believe is a very boring role. So there is some sort of skin in the game of the person, and the person is also involved in the management of the entire team who is involved in that particular project. The second reason of doing this is because we are a young company. It doesn't make sense for us to hire a separate manager or separate social media manager and then another operations manager, because we need to always see where we can cut cost and how we can get the maximum out of the money that you're investing, okay? So that's the reason number two. Second one is a bit selfish one, and the first one is kind of logical in my opinion, is what I believe. Agar tumhe lagta hai ki no, this is just bullshit, mujhe comment se bata do, I don't care anyways. But the idea is that there has to be some sort of skin in the game of the person involved in the project. Otherwise, people just do the work for the sake of doing the work, and I do not like to work with people who do the work for the sake of doing the work. I need passion, I need energy, I need the drive of actually working on something. So every person ideally in my company should be responsible for the results that we have promised to our clients. Okay, if it happens, it doesn't happen, that's a completely different conversation, but that's the intent that everybody should have. And so as a founder, I always try to get on these hiring calls, give them my vision, tell them exactly what they're going to be responsible for, and always try to attach their role in one way or another to the results that we're supposed to bring for the clients we're working with. So works. I don't want to rush, bro. For Will, I don't want to rush because by Monday we'll also have the social media manager finalized. So I definitely do not want to rush for Will for sure, right? It's fine if it is taking us some time. That's absolutely fine. And so I think we are good on that front. I think Luke's project is going well. His latest video, got some really good feedback on LinkedIn. I have been checking it out. Really great, people like it, which is great. We'll launch the same video on YouTube tomorrow, right? So I think and yeah, so like there are a couple of major important things that I want to discuss. So like last couple of days I've been only working on sales and marketing. Like I've been basically kind of doing a lot of brainstorming on how do we really want to scale the company, okay? Because so I was like, okay, I had to sit down and I had to do a lot of brainstorming, a lot of research in terms of exactly which market we are operating in, which industry are we operating in, where does actually the opportunity lies, and how we should scale the company, okay? So I just quickly wanted to kind of share that with you and get your thoughts on that, because it is important for you to be on the loop as well, right? Now, so I'll just do that and you tell me what you think about that, okay? I'll zoom in it a bit. So basically, bro, what I did is I was like, okay, let's do some brainstorming in terms of the psychographics of the market that we are working in, right? So I think this will give you a lot of clarity as well in terms of the type of people that we are working with, and I think we'll know exactly which direction we are moving towards, okay? So I'll zoom in just so you see it better, okay? So bro, first type of the people that are in our target market and can be our target potential customers are people who want to build their brands from scratch, right? Now we have been doing this for a while now, but we have an upper cap on how much we can make from one client every month, because there are no products we can sell for them, right? Now, even though there is a great opportunity in this particular market, what I think is there is upper cap. You cannot reach out to these sort of people through advertising. Very hard. Very, very, very hard, okay? You have to do some sort of personalization, some sort of outreach, some sort of referrals, okay? Now, I'll get back to that in a while as well. So this is first market psychographics that we have been dealing with, okay? Getting one client like her compared to 10 clients who we help from scratch, it's same. It might feel like that we are making more money with those 10 clients, but the amount of time we are spending in making that money, it just equates everything. Okay guys, so this is the time for Cold Models Q&A call. This is our second call, so I'm about to get on that call. 2-3 minutes late चल रहा हूँ because I was setting up my entire setup. I was having the lunch, तो 5 minutes late हो गया. About to get this started. Some good content is going to coming out of this, so I'm excited for this. I also show you some behind the scenes of the questions that people have been asking, etc. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, it's time to get started. Bro, depend करता है कि how well you have qualified the person before getting on the first call. That's very important. ठीक है? For example, I'll give you a very quick example of it. अब इसमें 4-5 चीज़ें जो मुझे कवर करनी पड़ेगी. इसका स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड आंसर नहीं है, I'll tell you why. ठीक है? पहला सिनेरियो क्या हो सकता है कि तेरे पास इनबाउंड लीड आई है. अगर इनबाउंड लीड आई है, then it doesn't make sense to go on the second call, because that lead is already warmed up. That lead already knows that you have done good work in the industry. They already know the work that you do. They already know the service they offer, and they already know the problem that they have specifically exactly. उस सिनेरियो के अंदर सेंस ही नहीं बनता है to push them on the second call. You have to try to close them on the first call itself. ठीक है? अगर कोई आउटबाउंड लीड आई है आउटरीच के थ्रू, एडवर्टाइजिंग के थ्रू, उस केस के अंदर इट माइट मेक सेंस टू पुश पीपल ऑन द सेकंड कॉल. ठीक है? सो एक चीज़ तो ये हो गई कि यार द फिल्टर ऑफ इनबाउंड एंड आउटबाउंड. इनबाउंड है तो सेकंड कॉल पे पुश करने का की कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, और अगर इनबाउंड नहीं है देन यू माइट वांट टू पुश टू द सेकंड कॉल. नंबर 1. ठीक है? नंबर 2, अगर आउटबाउंड से भी लीड आ रही है, आउटबाउंड से भी कॉल बुक हुआ है, उस सिनेरियो के अंदर भी हाउ वेल योर प्री क्वालिफिकेशन सिस्टम्स आर would determine if we should push them on the second call or not. Now for example, हमें जब भी कोई लीड ऐड से आती है तो this is how the process goes. ठीक है? लीड आती है, they answer 8 to 10 questions which allow us to qualify if they are right fit for us or not, and it also allow us to qualify them on the pricing. ठीक है? तो हम उनको क्वालिफाई करते हैं और हमें पता लग जाता है उनकी क्या प्रोफाइल है, हमें पता लग जाता है कि उनकी क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स, उनकी क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है, ये सारी चीज़ें हमें पता लग जाती है. तो उस फॉर्म को जब वो फिल करते हैं, वी गेट टू नो एवरीथिंग वी नीड टू नो अबाउट देयर बिजनेस एंड देयर लाइफ. ठीक है? अब बिफोर दे गेट ऑन द कॉल विद अस, हमारे कैलेंडली से वी सेंड देम एटलीस्ट 7 ईमेल्स. 7 emails. ठीक है, मुझे नहीं पता तुमने कोर्स में देखा कि नहीं देखा, बट आई टॉक्ड अबाउट इट इन डिटेल. 7 emails talking about who Akshat is, what we do, what results we can bring for you, etc. 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 तो जब तक वो कॉल पे आते हैं ना, they know almost everything about us and exactly what services we offer. So in that scenario, 50% of the times we do not have to push anybody on the second call. ठीक है. So अब देखो, you have to make that call depending upon your systems, number 1. Number 2, तेरी सर्विस कितनी कॉम्प्लेक्स है. अगर तेरी सर्विस काफ़ी कॉम्प्लेक्स है और काफ़ी ज़्यादा हाई टिकट है, then it doesn't make sense to close them in the first call.
Yo guys, so about to get on a discovery call with the prospect. It's an inbound, so the idea would be to close her directly on the first call and to not stretch it to another call unless she wants it, or unless she wants to dive deep into the process as well, or unless she wants to kind of, do us some research. She's already here. Let's get into it.
So let's first quickly talk about growth. Okay, so for the first 2 weeks, what we do is, once we start working with you, we decide brand persona. Okay, now the idea of brand persona is, okay, how do you want people to look at you? How do you want to position yourself? Do you want them to look at you as an expert in the industry? Do you want them to look at you as kind of a friend or or elder sister who is helping them? So like, how are we positioning you? Because that's very important. And so we basically, have a discussion with you, understand exactly what sort of person you are, what sort of, persona you have naturally. What comes naturally? Are you extroverted? Are you introverted? High energy, low energy? Whatever that is, depending upon that, we decide upon your brand persona. And this is very important because this basically sets up the foundation of your brand, and everything that we are basically doing will get built on top of it. Okay, so like, that's brand persona. That's where we start. Then the second thing is story constitution. Okay, now the idea of story constitution is that we'll build a document of your stories, your personal, professional mistakes, learnings, insights, etc. 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 Okay, now the reason why we do it is because as a creator, what I've realized is that people can basically consume all your content, but people will stick to your brand because of your stories. Okay, so at the end of the day, if you're building a personal brand, we need to make it authentic. We need to tell people a lot more about your life, however, how much you are comfortable sharing. So we'll build this story constitution document for you. So idea is simple: document the stories, expand on the stories, and whenever we generate ideas, we fuse it with your stories, so we have unlimited unique content ideas. Okay, that's basically the philosophy of generating the story constitution document.
Okay guys, so it's September 12th, 9:11 p.m. to be precise. Done for the day. Done because I did not have enough time to do a lot more things that I was supposed to do today. My to-do list is not done. I think it's around 70% done, which I count as a successful day, because when I wake up in the morning, I get extra ambitious and I just write way too many things on my to-do list and on my notebook. And then at the end of the day, I just feel like maybe I have not pushed myself enough, but today I'm just going a bit, a bit less rough on myself, and I believe that it was a good day in terms of how I have produced output and the things that I have worked towards. So what I've been doing is, in the last 2 days, I worked on a completely new offer for the agency. So what's happening, and the reason why I did this is because since the last 2 weeks, and you will see this in the BTS, that I haven't been able to work consistently on sales and marketing. Now, ads have been running. The other people in the company are working on reaching out to founders and entrepreneurs in our target market that we help by definition. But apart from that, the efforts that I was supposed to put in sales and marketing as a founder, I was procrastinating on that. And so yesterday I just got fed up of it. I was like, there is something wrong here. And the reason why I'm procrastinating on it is not because I do not want to make more money or I do not want to get more clients. It is because I'm unclear. Okay. So I sat down with myself and I was like, okay, who are exactly the people that I want to reach out to? How do I exactly want to scale the company? I sat down and did a lot of brainstorming with myself. And yesterday and today, together, I created an entirely new offer. I created a new landing page. I recorded a new VSL. I did a lot of analysis on the psychographics of my target market. And now I know exactly in which direction I want to scale the company. And so now I have a step-by-step process of exactly what are the things that I need to work on, which I can work from tomorrow. And in just a couple of days, I'll be back on the track. I'll have the SOPs. I've created new SOPs. I have created new systems. By tomorrow or by the end of the week, I'll be hiring new people who will be basically doing all the things that I want to do or that I was supposed to do. Because I got clear. Okay, so what I'm basically trying to tell you is that if you don't do anything, or if you're not doing anything directly or indirectly, sometimes you just don't know why you're not doing things, right? And majority of the times the reason is you being unclear. So if you're procrastinating of the things, majority of the times the reason could be unclarity. That means you don't even know what you want to do. So sit down with yourself, ask yourself what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, what are the things that you are working towards, exactly what your goals are, what your dreams are, write them down, and then create a executionable step-by-step process with that. And once you do that, you will realize that your procrastination vanishes out of thin air, and you will be able to actually produce a lot of output as a freelancer, entrepreneur, creator, or whoever you tag yourself as. But basically the idea is of actually getting a lot clear about exactly what you really want to do. So that's what I have done. Completely new offer, what the offer is, why there is this new offer if my agency is already going really fine. What I'm thinking is I'm going to be creating a completely new video, which is going to be a whiteboard kind of a video. And this is going to be the greatest video that you would ever see in the online business space. I can promise you that. If you just watch that video, you will get so much clarity. That video will not give you a lot of hacks in terms of how to make a lot of money instantly, but it will give you a lot of clarity in terms of how to think, what skill to pick, what skill to not pick, what segment of the market to actually, provide your services to. So that video is coming soon. Wait for that. I'll basically make you wait for that. So you actually are waiting for the good stuff, and you are actually delighted after watching that video, because nobody is creating stuff of that level on the internet, in my opinion, at least in the Indian ecosystem. So I'm going to be giving you guys some real sauce when that video actually launches, right? Now, apart from that, this week what we've done is we have basically changed the entire content design for my personal brand again. So what happened was, after a big break, before I started doing these YouTube videos consistently, sorry about that, YouTube videos consistently, before I started doing BTS, I did a content design for my content for YouTube and Instagram. Turns out it was very dull and sad and mellow, and people were not liking it. They hated it. Somebody commented on my Instagram, and that's a good feedback. Okay, I always take criticism in terms of productive feedback. So I was like, okay, maybe we need to change something. I showed that to my family, and they were like, okay, this suck. Okay, your colors are not good, your fonts are not good. So we basically changed that. Now we have a new style, completely new style. If you're watching this video, you will see that the fonts that we're using are completely different. The colors are different, and I'm sure they look good because, I have kind of tested that in the market, and I've asked people for the feedback on that as well. So content design has been completely changed. Yeah, a lot of things to do, a lot of money to be made, a lot of opportunities to grab, a lot of leverage to be built. We are going strong. Next 3 months are going to be crazy. 2025 will enter the year with ultimate momentum like I have never done before in my entire life. Very excited for that. I'm excited for you guys as well. Good days are coming. Stick to the process. Keep winning the internal war. Bye.